Hi, my name is Tom Oberbauer, and I will be speaking to you about the natural wonders of Baja California. I've been traveling down the Pacific coast of Baja California with a group of researchers, and we've been stopping at a number of obscure and little visited islands. Today I'm standing on San Martin Island. San Martin Island is a volcanic island located a short distance off the west coast of San Quintin, Baja California, Mexico. This island is completely volcanic. It has a cinder cone in the top, and the slopes are covered with volcanic rock. There are other natural features on this island, including the fact that it's covered with lichens, and it has a fog condition that helps augment the vegetation that grows here. There's also a few other specific species that are of interest that I'll be talking to you about in the next few minutes. This is Dudleya anthonii. Dudleya anthonii is one of the largest, if not the largest, member of the genus Dudleya. Dudleyas are succulents in the stonecrop family, and the diversity of this genus is centered pretty much in Southern California and Northern Baja California and the offshore islands. This plant in front of us is approximately 18 inches to 24 inches in diameter for the rosette, and then when you add a couple of rosettes together, it gets to be a very large plant in terms of a Dudleya. The silvery leaves are very distinctive, and it has a very high contrast against the black volcanic rock that occurs here on San Martin Island. This is looking toward the mainland of San Quintin, and you can see the cinder cones on the adjacent mainland location. In many places on the island, the vegetation has the appearance of a rock garden, with the rocks that are covered with lichens, the vegetation, the lycium or box thorns in this case, that are covered with lichens, and some of the encelias, the yellow-flowered shrubs in the foreground. This is the typical surface of the island. Jagged volcanic rock material covered with lichens. Lichens compose a greater percentage of vegetative cover than any of the vascular plants. The whole island is covered with lichens, including the vegetation itself. The shrubs have lichen growing on them. Here's an example of a boxthorn or lycium covered with lichens. Lichens grow best in locations that have foggy moisture, but also very clean air. Both of these conditions are met very well on San Martin Island. Here's another slope covered with lichen. And the little yellow flowers in the center of the slope are fiddlenecks or Amsynchia. Here's another view of the rock garden type of landscape appearance that this island provides. You have the Dudleya anthonii, which kind of is the cornerstone of the visual elements, and then you have some of the encelia, the yellow flowered shrubs, and also some white flowered Perilli emerii. The lichens all set it off, and then in the foreground might be visible some Pterostegia dromarioides, sometimes referred to as Granny's hairnet. Here I am on top of San Martin Island, at the rim of the crater, at the highest part of the island. In the distance you can see the mainland with San Quintin and the volcanic craters that exist in that location. I'll slowly pan around so you can see the mainland and the view from here. In the distance you can see sand dunes and the volcanic cones around this town of San Quintin in Baja California, Mexico. You can see the Shogun boat that we rode on to get here. More of the volcanic cones, and then you start seeing the rim of the crater here with Dudleya coltrata, the succulents that are related to Dudleya anthonii, and finally the crater itself at the top of the mountain, at the top of the island. This is Dudleya coltrata, another member of the stonecrop family, another member of the genus Dudleya. It's very prolific up here on the top of the rim of the crater on San Martin Island. And everything's covered with lichens. This is the view looking off toward the west, across the lichen-covered slopes of the island. At the far end of the lagoon is a herd or group of harbor seals. Harbor seals are very skittish. If we approach any closer, they stampede into the water, and there's a concern that they might stampede their own pups. This is unlike their behavior in parts of Southern California, where they're highly adapted to the nearby presence of humans and people can approach them. But here, if you get close to them, they stampede into the water. And this is the typical behavior that they have throughout most of their distribution. This somewhat nondescript plant in the foreground is Chenopodium flabellifolia. It's the only species of plant that's only found on this island. It's not found on the adjacent San Quintin mainland, which would be a surprise because it's so close by and the habitats are so similar. But at this point, it's only been found here on San Martin Island.